Yes, I have. Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting shortly. Because I don't know if they could. Oh, good. Okay, great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jane Addams College of Social Work. I am Dr. Cassandra McKay, the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Student Services, and this webinar has been prepared specifically for you, our full-time students. I'll give you a little bit of information as it relates to the orientation. The skills and knowledge that you will acquire as you complete your degree in social work are of utmost value to building better communities, helping others, and forming a thriving society. To achieve these goals, all of us must be open and open ourselves to learning how to view our world and our collective struggles through different perspectives than our own. As social workers, we find value and strength in those differences as well as our similarities. As a college, we look forward to increasing your knowledge base while also learning from you. as there is much good work that needs to be done by all of us, teachers and students alike, of social work. This webinar is being recorded so that you can watch it again at your convenience. We will share the link with you via email in the next day or so. We have also posted a FAQ, or frequently asked questions list, to accompany this webinar, and I will be providing you with important email addresses at the end. So please review this webinar as often as needed. In addition to welcoming you to the college, the purpose of this webinar is to provide you with information that will be useful before the start of the academic year regarding the curriculum, registration, the importance of your UIC email account, and some of the resources available to you. Please know that our faculty and staff are committed to providing you with the excellent education that Jane Addams is known for. We are excited to be a part of this journey with you, and we are looking forward to having you with us this fall. That said, let me make sure everyone is properly set up to participate in the webinar and to let you know how we will proceed. The Q&A feature will be enabled during this webinar. As questions arise, type your question in that feature for Q&A. If you see a question that is similar to your question, you may want to address it or put a thumbs up there. And then our office manager, Regina McCormick, will keep track of your questions. And at the end of the presentation, I will answer most of the questions that have been posed, particularly if they are a collective importance to the group. If your question does not get answered or needs to be addressed further, there will be some important emails again at the end of the presentation regarding who to direct your question to. So let's get started with the overview of the curriculum. The MSW curriculum is comprised of generalist and specialization social work courses. The generalist coursework includes a focus on social work practice, social welfare policy, human behavior in the social environment, and social work research and field education. These generalist content areas work together to prepare students to use a planned change problem-solving process and work with a variety of client systems, individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. Apply various theoretical perspectives and use a range of skills, all grounded in social work values and ethics. So for the full-time students, your generalist year will last for 1 year. As full-time students, your class is divided also into cohorts. This means that we pre-assign you to specific sections for each of your required courses. It also means that you will remain with the same group of students in all of your required courses for the first year of the MSW program. So here again is a list of the courses that I just named. The MSW program is highly structured, and it is important that you take the required courses in the sequence outlined in our required plans of study in order to complete the program within the time frame designated for your program option. This means that as full-time students, your MSW program will be 2 years, first year generalist, and the second year is your specialization year. So speaking of specialization, the generalist coursework is followed by coursework in an area of specialized practice in your final year of study. I won't take the time now to go over the curriculum for specializations. Currently, I'm only focusing on your first year of the program. However, keep in mind there are 5 specializations that you will be able to select from: child and family, mental health, school social work, organization and community practice, and social work within justice systems. You will receive more information about the curriculum for each specialization and the process of selection of your specialization in the fall and spring of this year. You are also welcome to peruse the college website at your leisure for more information. I'll turn the mic over to Pamela Brown, the Director of Field Education.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about field education, and you might be asking yourself exactly what is field education. The MSW program at Jane Addams is a concurrent model of coursework and field studies. We have goals in field education, and they are to provide an opportunity for students to develop as professionals in the field of social work. I'm sorry, I'm trying to move my slide here. Okay. The second goal is to provide students with an opportunity to apply the theories and concepts learned in the classroom to practice situations. And the third goal is in field, you will develop a professional identity consistent with social work values and ethics. It defines the principles and standards of everyday social work. So what you will be doing is while you are in classes, learning on the theory and knowledge that you're gaining in your classes, you will also be in a field education course. You may already even be looking for one with a field liaison. The next slide. For students, full-time students, your classes are scheduled on Monday and Wednesday in the morning. You will immediately begin field education concurrent with your classroom coursework. Actually, you'll begin that the week after courses start. The requirements for field education for the generalist year are the completion of social work 570, that's in the fall, and 571, which is in the spring. That's field instruction 1 and 2. You will complete a total of 450 hours. And what that looks like is about 16 hours per week for the entirety of the semester. During the specialization year, you will complete social work 572 and 573. That's field instruction 3 and 4. And then you will complete a total of 630 hours. But that won't happen until your specialization year. I will be on this webinar until the end if you have more questions about the field education portion. At this point, I will turn it back over to Dr. McKay.
So let's talk a little bit, or let you hear a little bit about one of the more important things about our program is communication. Each of you will have a UIC email address. Some of you may already have one. By now, you have probably already received email messages to that email address from UIC. As of now, the college is using your personal email address we have on file for you to send email from the Office of Academic Affairs and Student Services with the subject heading Jane Mail. However, no later than August 1st, after we have confirmed that all students have registered, the college will send email only to your UIC email account. While it is possible to set it up to do so Please do not forward your UIC email to your personal email account. Let me tell you why. Personal email accounts often filter UIC email into spam because it may appear as unwanted mass mail. Many students who have set up their university accounts to forward to their personal email accounts frequently fail to receive critical UIC email, and you don't want that to be you who misses a critical deadline or misses out even on a scholarship or other special opportunity because it went to spam and you never saw it. The university and the college send a significant amount of email. You may be tempted to delete it without reading it, but I encourage you to resist that temptation. Here are a couple of examples of what can happen when you miss or fail to read your university email. A student missed the deadline for opting out of campus care. You'll hear more about that later in these slides, because the email reminders went to spam and they never saw them. This mistake resulted in their being billed hundreds of dollars for healthcare coverage that they didn't need because they were already covered. When it was time to file the UIC required intent to graduate form, a student deleted the email, failed to submit the form, and was unable to graduate in May as planned. They had to wait until August to graduate, and this impacted their job prospects. Unfortunately, there are many more examples, but the point is that it is important to make sure that you receive and read all email from the university and the college. Also, when you receive university or college email, please pay attention to whether there is a particular person to respond to or contact. Please do not use the reply or reply all button. This may cause either a bounce back and your reply is not received, or it may result in hundreds or thousands of folks reading content not meant for them to have. You are responsible for reading your email. It is the college's primary way of communicating with you. Moving on to registration. You will receive, or maybe have already received, a document that includes information regarding which cohort you have been assigned to, and relatedly, which course sections to register for. The information that you are looking for is which cohort you are assigned to. Cohort FT1, FT2, FT3, FT4, FT5, or FT6. Once you identify that information, you will refer to the provided document you received to determine which courses and sections you should register for. Please note that you must register for the classes that you have been assigned to. If you register for the incorrect section, your registration will be canceled and you will need to re-register for the correct section. Remember, you are assigned to a cohort whom you will remain with for your first year in the program. Included will also be information regarding my.uic.edu portal and the link you will need to activate your UIC Net ID and password and enterprise and password. You will also register for your classes on the my.uic.edu portal. So on this slide, this is the calendar that will govern the fall semester. There are some important dates for you to remember for fall. Classes begin on Monday, August 26th. Remember, you will be taking required courses on Mondays and Wednesdays. During the first 10 days of the semester, students may adjust their schedules to drop or add classes if there has been any error in registration. Another important date to keep in mind is Friday, September 6th, as this is the official last day you'll be able to withdraw from class without financial penalties and the last day to drop a course without receiving a W or withdrawal grade on academic records. All courses dropped after the 6th will have a W grade on transcripts. Keep in mind that because of the tightly sequenced nature of our curriculum, dropping a required course will delay your program completion by a year in most cases. Note, our Thanksgiving holiday is both Thursday and Friday, and an additional day has been added in observance of this holiday. The Wednesday of this week is now considered a non-instruction day. The fall semester ends on December 6th with exam week December 9th through the 13th. Advising matters. For some of you, you perhaps experienced a hold in your registering if you had an opportunity to register because you were a new student. And so we were able to adjust that. However, this slide really speaks to the advising that should occur while you're here. You will be assigned an academic advisor in the fall. It would be good to reach out to that advisor to get acquainted after the start of the academic year, since most faculty are not available during the summer. This office serves to advise all students during the summer. If you have questions during the summer, you should email jacwoss@uic.edu. And someone will contact you to discuss your concerns or answer your questions. Also, let me assure you that these slides will be made available to you. So any information that I'm sharing, in addition to you having the recording of this webinar, you'll be able to access that information. As you move through the program, the student handbook and your academic advisor will be useful, and you will be able to obtain information about campus resources to support. This includes matters that pertain to your classroom academic issues, as well as to begin discussing your career interests and selection of elective options to support your career and educational goals. There are additional resources and information available to you on the UIC and Jane Addams websites. I encourage you to take the time to visit them. Not now, however, but I do encourage you to take the time to visit them. Just a few key pieces that I do want to highlight for you related to DAS you must complete before classes begin. Preferred name. Students who would like to use a name other than their legal first name are able to enter a preferred first name, update an existing preferred first name, or delete an existing preferred first name through the student self-service found at https://my.uic.edu. Please review university policy for acceptable uses of a preferred first name. Students who enter or update a preferred first name later than 2 weeks before the start of a semester may not see the preferred first name replicated in some systems for several days. Additional information is also available at here, this link. You may also contact the registration helpline at the link cited on this slide for more information. Blackboard. Some of you all are familiar with Blackboard as used it in your undergraduate programs. The college uses Blackboard for all classes. Blackboard is where you will access your syllabi and related course materials. Once you register, you are automatically enrolled in the instructor's course site. While some instructors may open and invite you to access the content in their course site earlier, all course sites and syllabi will be available to you before classes start. If you go to the Blackboard website, you will not be able to see the course you are enrolled in until the course site is activated. There's good news here in regards to UPass. Again, some of you all are familiar with UPass or you utilized some version of it before. UIC is happy to announce and introduce an option called UPass Plus, which expands the utility of the UPass, currently just CTA only. It also includes unlimited Metra service and the UPass Plus option. This engagement is currently being developed as a pilot project which Metra and UIC have agreed upon for the fall 2024 and through the summer 2025 semesters. After the pilot completes, UIC and Metra will evaluate the benefit to the students and ability for Metra to continue to offer the same service moving forward. Starting with the fall 2024 UPass enrollment period, which is July 11th, 2024, students will have the option for setting their opt status. They will have the option of selecting UPass CTA only or UPass Plus CTA plus Metra or opt out. The bookstore. Once you register, you should also be able to view the books required for your courses on the UIC bookstore website. There will be multiple sections of each of your required courses, so be sure to select the course CRN that you are registered for. You are provided this information on the document indicating your cohort. Most, but not all, the courses and required books are on the bookstore website, but should be by the end of July. While the books will be available there, you are not obligated to purchase them through the UIC bookstore. You are free to obtain them from whatever source you choose. Additional required reading for your courses should also be available within your instructor's Blackboard course site or through the UIC Library electronic resources. ID cards. Student Center East ID Center will be open 8:30 to 5 p.m. Our Student Center East Center is located what we call Student Center East, or SCE. It's on the corner of Harrison and the cross streets are Taylor and Roosevelt. Once you arrive on campus, we will talk about an actual tour of campus if you're not familiar with the UIC campus. The university will be updating the ID Center website and will most likely send an email providing information about when and how to get your UIC of the ID. Please check the website periodically for information and instructions. So I refer to the incident with Campus Care when I spoke about connecting your UIC email address to your personal account. Here is more information about Campus Care. The university requires all students to be covered by health insurance. If you are not covered, UIC provides the Campus Care Student Health Benefit Program. Students with comparable health insurance can waive out by submitting an online waiver form before the enrollment change deadline. Otherwise, you will be automatically assessed the premium, which cannot be canceled or refunded. If you want to be sure to go to the Campus Care website before the start of the semester to review the benefits and enrollment opt-out policy and current fees. Here is the information in regards to 2024. So again, I encourage you to go to Campus Care, their website, to explore this further. DRC, the Disability Resource Center. Under UIC policy, any student needing to request accommodations for a disability should contact the Disability Resource Center. Go to the link here and complete an online student registration form. This form needs to be completed until you have been assigned your 9-digit UIN because it will be needed. The form will take a few minutes to complete. This form will not be reviewed until you call the office to schedule an intake appointment. So you would call the DRC at the number listed to schedule an intake appointment. The intake meeting with a disability specialist will give you an opportunity to discuss your disability-related needs. These meetings typically last 30 to 60 minutes. Online appointment scheduling is unavailable at this time. If calling in presents a barrier, you may call 711 for the relay service. Gather your medical documentation. You will be required to provide documentation to register with the DRC to receive disability-related accommodations. Documentation is one piece of the accommodation process. Please do not be deterred from starting the intake process because of a lack of documentation. Disability specialists are happy to meet and consult or to assist you in collecting documentation if necessary. Once the staff there have verified the nature of the disability and the accommodation needed, a letter will be written by them describing the nature of the accommodation needed, but not disclosing the nature of the disability. You must show that accommodation letter to the instructor of every class in which an accommodation is requested. This includes field education. Letters of accommodation are not retroactive. In case the field instruction classes, show it to the director of field education and your field instructor. Further details are available on their website at drc.uic.edu. Jane Addams College of Social Work website. Another important resource for all students is the college's website. You can find the MSW Student Handbook, which includes detailed information about college policies and procedures. You can look up your professors and learn more about the engagement of the college in the community, the type of research being conducted, and many other important pieces of information. Admissions and financial aid offices. I encourage you to contact the UIC Office of Student Financial Aid for any questions related to your financial aid situation. Questions concerning your aid packages can be addressed by emailing money@uic.edu or visiting the Student Services Building, or what we call SSB, which is 1200 West Harrison Street, Suite 1800. Or many of you may have spoken with Assistant Dean Flores in the Jane Addams College of Social Work. Our building is located at 1040 West Harrison, and her office is room 4355. The building is called Education, Theater, Music, and Social Work Building, or ETMSW. In some cases, you may email her email address at mflores@uic.edu, or her assistant, John Uth. Another amazing thing that we have here at UIC is Hull House. Jane Addams Hull House Museum is located on our campus. It has reopened, and you can visit their website at www.hullhousemuseum.org to reserve your visit. You may also engage in a self-guided virtual tour at your convenience. But I encourage you, if you are on campus, to actually go in physically to the building if possible. Again, this is a historic site. The museum is housed on our campus because of it actually being physically here many years ago. And again, we are the only Jane Addams College under the namesake Jane Addams. So again, I encourage you to frequent this historic place. So finally, we will be in touch regarding our welcome event, which will be before classes begin in the fall. Check your UIC email for any Jane Mail announcements that are coming with that location. The event will give you an opportunity to learn more about the college, university supports, and opportunities for you to be involved in the college and larger UIC community. I want to thank you again for taking the time to participate in this webinar. We will be making sure that you have information about the, again, frequently asked questions, as well as getting a recording of this webinar and the slides. As promised, here are email addresses that can contact if you need further information. But at this time, we will stop sharing so that you can, we can answer any questions that you all may have in regards to the webinar. So as I mentioned, advisors will be assigned fall semester, so at the beginning of fall semester. So again, some of you all may have had the situation that not being able to register because of needing to have an advisor's approval, we were able to address that situation. That really is a new student event that we have to address, but it does not prevent you from registering, specifically because if you register within your cohort, you will be registering for only the courses that are assigned to you. So academic advisors will be assigned to you beginning of fall semester, but now you should not have an issue with being able to register. So the next question, confirming that students in the generalist year will only attend class sessions for 3 courses per semester, register only for 3 courses plus field. Is there a requirement or opportunity to take an elective? In the situation of taking electives, usually there is a prerequisite, and that prerequisite would be your practice 1 course. And so electives then are reserved for your specialization year. And so that's the way that our curriculum is set up. If by chance you are taking practice 1 currently, which you should be and you should register for, again, that prerequisite in those 3 courses that you would take in your classroom has to be satisfied first. So I would say to reserve that elective for your specialization year, or even in between the summers, between your generalist year, which is this year coming, and then your specialization year, which will be next academic year. So correct. Think of it more so as 4 courses that you're registering for, because often people mistake that I don't have to register for my internship, but yet and still you do. So I would change that language to you're registering for 4 courses, 3 classroom courses, and then your field instruction course. Here's that next question. Do we continue our field internship during university holidays and winter spring break? Great question. So that is going to be based on the conversation that you have with field, but I'm going to also allow for Pamela Brown, the Director of Field Instruction, to be able to answer that.
Hello again, everyone.
Hello again, everyone.
Oh, for some reason okay, I think the echo is gone. I am letting you know that you will negotiate with your field instructor. That's the person that supervises you at your field placement site. You will negotiate with them what your break looks like. We do not advise or recommend that students take the entirety of winter break off, because we have students have a pretty long winter break. It's about 5 or 6 weeks. And oftentimes students who do try to take the entirety off really feel like they are starting all over again when they return in January. There's also wonderful learning opportunities that oftentimes occur during those winter months. So we do not advise that you take the entirety of the break off. Most students take a couple weeks off and then or do a reduced hours schedule, but you will negotiate that with the actual field instructor at the placement. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to answer this question, but this question may be require to get an additional person to address it. Has Jane Addams College of Social Work SNAP scholarship notifications been sent out to applicants? If not, is there an estimate for when that information will become available? I would reserve that question for Assistant Dean Maribel Flores, who is over financial aid, and she can speak to when those scholarship notifications will be sent. And again, as I mentioned, and you will have, if you don't already have her email address, we'll be sending out the slides with that information so you can get that. So you'll find out for certain when those notifications have been sent, and then if not, when to expect them. Another question that was raised, are we able to transfer any courses? At the point of being admitted into the college, if you had been in a previous Master of Social Work program before, then that information should have been shared with Assistant Dean Maribel Flores in regards to the possible transfer of courses. Not every course is eligible to be transferred into the MSW program. So it is possible to transfer courses, but there is specific requirements for any transfer of courses. So again, I would suggest that you either reach out to myself or to Assistant Dean Maribel Flores in regards to that question. My email address is cmckay@uic.edu if you have particular questions. Here's the next question. Do we continue our field internship? Okay, so I think that was already addressed. So Director Brown has already spoken to that as far as when to end that, and their negotiation needs to occur. Is there a main IT email address we should use? Looks like there are several options that pop up. So is the question main IT email address? Let's see. I'm not certain of what this is entailing. Is if there is you would use your UIC email account as far as communication. But if you were having any type of difficulty, there is IT support. You would find that on the website, on the UIC website for IT support, and then that would actually route to our college for additional support. If that's what this is referring to, yes, there is a main IT support email through the university's website. Okay. Question as it relates to registration. You should have received in the email that went to you the docket that has the registration information. It says summer, fall registration. And registration is now open. So again, the information that you were to receive with your cohort information, that is going to go alongside the registration materials. And so registration is now open, so you are free to register. If you have received a ID through UIC previously, it may be that you have to receive another one. However, that is a question that could be addressed by the UIC ID Center. So I would encourage you, if you are a graduate of UIC and you received the UIC ID as an undergrad, you would actually need to ask that question. It's possible that you'll need to have a new UIC because you're under a new program. Okay, this question is, I feel like I'm missing something I have to submit prior to the start of the semester. Where can I check to see if a checklist or something I'm missing to submit, like vaccinations or other records are required? So I would suggest for this question, if you feel like there is something that you possibly are missing, double check all of the emails that you have received. Most likely, again, the same way that the college communicates via email, the university does the same. So you want to double check, make sure that nothing has gone to spam or any other folders that it could have gone to. And that way you can make sure that you have all the information that's needed. If you are missing anything as it relates to immunization, believe me, there will be a hold on your account to register. So that will be a hint that something is missing from the university as far as a record. So I would suggest if there's something that you suspect you are possibly missing, go back through all your emails and check if there was an email that you've not paid attention to. Another question as it relates to, was there an email to the UIC address indicating your assigned cohort? You should have received an email or letter with that documentation of your cohort. If you have not received that, again, I will give you my email address, and then please reach out to me if you did not receive that. Again, that information should have been sent out from this office that would have your cohort, and so the courses that you should be registering for. So again, my email address is C as in cat, M as in Mary, C as in cat, KAY@uic.edu. Okay, Alexis, let's see. Academic status as a student allows me to register, but when I go to register, the site tells me that student status prevents registration. Can you tell me who to contact to resolve this problem? My immunization and timing ticket are correct. Great question. So this is what I'm referring to. For some of you, you've had the situation where you've not been able to register because perhaps you are a new student. The person to contact in our office is the records officer. It's Leslie G, LESLIEG at uic.edu, and she can assist you with registration. Okay, AJ, will there be additional information on dual degrees? I've reached out regarding the MSW and PH track and have only been sent information that was provided on the website. So AJ, there is actually information that I can send you if you, again, send me your email address. There is a recorded Zoom session about the dual degree that speaks to the MSW and MPH programs together and what is required, that whole process. So again, send me your email address and I can send you information in regards to the dual degree. Okay, all right. So there is question in regards to cohort. Again, John, should have been an email that was sent to you with that cohort information. So again, I would encourage you to double check your email to see if there's something that came that may have gone to your spam that either would have said Jane Mail or UIC email, because that's where that cohort information would be. during the winter and summer break, can we do field hours? I'm gonna let Director Brown to speak to that.
Excuse me, everyone. Okay, so you definitely can in the winter break, and I think I kind of addressed that a little bit already. Um, we want you to complete your hours within the semester time period. However, some students do need extra time during the break to complete hours. And that is allowed. It needs to be discussed in depth with your field liaison. Each student will be assigned a field liaison, and that is the person that you should use as a resource if you have any questions or concerns, or you're having any trouble making your hours. If you're asking if you can complete them over summer hours, like doing a summer internship, that is at this time extended only to our PM students who are not in the full-time program. They are allowed to do a summer placement. Full-time students, the expectation is that you complete your field hours during the course of the academic year, which is from the end of August until the beginning of May of the following year.
Okay. The next question. Can you speak more about the process to sign up for electives and interdepartmental concentrations? Catherine, so again, for your first year, we have a very lockstep curriculum. And so in that first year, you're going to be registering for the 4 courses that are assigned. So there are 3 classroom courses and then field. Electives, we ask to you reserved after you've taken the prerequisite courses. The interdepartmental concentrations are available to you as well. But again, those are part of that elective series. So if you have particular questions or particular interests, this is where your academic advisor will come into play, who will be assigned to you in the fall. But feel free to inquire further with me. You can send me an email if you have particular questions about how to pursue particular electives or interdepartmental concentrations of interest. Okay, Ryan, if I'm doing an internship this summer, can I count it as my field placement during the fall? Pamela, you want to speak to that?
Um, I'm I'm a little confused. I don't know if you're doing an internship for another for an undergraduate program. You have to complete a full field placement for the academic year. We can have an offline conversation if you'd like to email me to give me more details, but the expectation is that you cannot count prior internship hours. This is an independent internship addressing social work and social work competencies. And again, full-time students need to do that over the course of the academic year. If you would like to speak further, please feel free to email me. My email for you and for anyone else who may have field questions is pbrown9. Please don't forget the 9 or I won't get it at uic.edu. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a question as it relates to looking for your cohort information, registration information. Feel free again to reach out to, I'll give you 2 email addresses. That's Leslie G, LESLIEG at uic.edu, who's a records officer. She can speak to your cohort and any information that was sent to you. Or you can also communicate with me. cmckay@uic.edu. So again, feel free to utilize those as well if you have particular questions. Do UIC alumni need to submit transcripts? I believe so that makes sure that we have everything in the loop. If you've not already submitted your transcripts, that should have been a conversation that you had with Assistant Dean Maribel Flores to speak about admission. So again, reach out to Maribel Flores. So M Flores, FLORES 6@uic.edu, and she can speak to the transcripts that are needed. So I have seen information on the website about interdepartmental concentration. Where do I learn more about the possibility? Okay, so again, this first year, you're going to follow the curriculum as planned out, but there is information in regards to the interdepartmental concentration, absolutely. So again, I encourage you to email me if you have further questions about how you would like to pursue that. And again, this would be a great conversation to have with your academic advisor once the fall semester begins. My email address again, cmckay@uic.edu. So, Jennifer, this is a question I'll allow Director Brown to speak to about field liaison.
Okay, so for students, full-time students, once we receive your name as a full-time attendee, we receive that from the Office of Admissions, I'm sorry, then you will get a communication from us that welcomes you to field education and invite you to fill out a questionnaire on our digital platform, Sonia. And once you fill out that questionnaire, you are assigned a liaison who will reach out and contact you. Not to put anyone on the spot, I saw this question coming and I did look that up. Looks like that information was sent to you in a previous email. I don't know if it was missed, but revisit your email. If you do not see it there, please contact me again at pbrown9@uic.edu. Like I said, I had a chance to look it up and it was sent sometime a couple months ago. If you do not see it there, please contact my email address.
So Pamela, here's another question as it relates to internship. When should we start looking for and beginning our internship? What does the process look like? Should this begin before classes or as soon as classes start?
You should definitely begin looking before classes start. Field is considered, as Dr. McKay said, as one of your courses. It is coursework. So if we have gotten your name from the Office of Admissions, the process begins with you receiving a communication from our offices that welcomes you, directs you to Sonia and how to use it, and the questionnaire. The questionnaire allows you to be assigned to a liaison who will contact you and begin the process. So look through your email, see if you received that information, or actually, if you did receive it and you sent it in but haven't heard anything, either way, please contact our offices right away so we can get on top of that and you can get started locating an internship before August.
Okay, and this is a question that deals with opting out for in regards to additional charges. So again, so something similar to UPass or Campus Care. Here's what I would suggest to you. Go back again through your emails to check to see if anything that was sent to you by the university. So this would be different than the college. anything that was sent to you by the university as it relates to UPass or Campus Care. If you have not, make sure that because now you should have a UIN. UIN is your university ID that's going to govern all of the communications and interactions that you have with the university. Make sure that that has been activated, your net ID, all those things. In that regard, go to the UPass and Campus Care websites to be able to opt out or in anything that you would like to choose. But again, the opting out would be that critical piece in order to not incur any additional fees that you don't need. So the same thing, I don't have the deadline date for when to opt out, but it typically is, as I made mention in this presentation, before the semester begins. So you want to do that before the fall semester begins. And again, those are the websites for UPass and Campus Care. They are separate websites that you want to, those UPass and Campus Care, those are separate websites that you want to go into to opt out. Okay, and Regina has put that in the chat or in the Q&A, so you can go to that. All right, Rebecca, do we reach our field instructor and let them know when we have to start? So again, Director Brown, I'll let you answer that question.
Okay, so hopefully you have your terms correct because oftentimes students get the field liaison and the field instructor, those titles confused. The field liaison is the person that works with the university, and they should be reaching out to you to begin the process. The field instructor is the person that will supervise you on site. If you have received an offer from an agency, one that we are partnered with, and you have been assigned a field instructor, what you need to do is complete a confirmation form, contact your liaison, let them know that you secured the placement. And then as far as a start date, you should be having that discussion, yes, with the partner agency to let them know that you are expected to start at the beginning of the fall semester. A lot of our agency partners already know when the internships start, but you should be having that communication back and forth with the agency that has offered you a placement.
Okay, and so as it relates to who do you contact if there's a hold on your account? So that email address, again, you're going to reach out to the records officer, which is Leslie Graham. Her email address is Leslie, LESLIEG at uic.edu. And again, Regina has put that in the chat. And so you'll reach out to her to let her know that there is a hold on your account. And again, this is something that happens similarly for new students to UIC. But it's something that can be addressed relatively quickly. Any additional questions? I'm gonna leave the chat, the Q&A open for another minute. But if not, feel free to reach out to those emails that were shared. Again, you will receive a copy of this recording. It'll be housed on the college's website so that you'll be able to have access to this as well as the PowerPoint slides. But again, I thank you for attending this webinar, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall.